goodness, it's been a minute since I have posted a video on this channel. On any channel, regardless. I'm not about to throw any excuses on why I haven't posted any. It's mainly just been too dang busy starting a new job and with 3 kids and being married. It is difficult, but being that I do want this channel to one day grow, I need to get back on the program with posting videos, which y'all are in luck because deer season is just right around the corner. Now today we are actually headed to an area that I hunted a few times last season. I know there's plenty of deer over there. I've seen plenty of deer. Only had one doe that I could have shot last year, or I'm sorry, pew-pewed last year. I don't know if YouTube's gonna start getting mad if people say stuff like that. Anyways, but yeah, we are going to put out a little bit of feed, not much. Only bought 1 bag of corn, and I got a couple of salt licks. Well, 1 salt lick that's apple flavored, and then I got a mineral block, and then I have a little bit of stuff I'm going to put on the ground that is meant for doing a food plot. Now, I'm not going to till up the land or nothing like that. I'm going to try to find an area in this field that, say, there's not a lot of vegetation that's super tall. Hopefully the property owner has bush hogged, because last time I was out there he had not, and it was definitely getting due to bush hog when I was in the side by side with my father-in-law. I mean, the weeds and everything in the field was about up to my head while I was sitting in the side by side. But we have our stand, well, my stand already over there. I got to use this pole saw to cut a couple limbs just so I can finish sliding it up on the tree, then strap it down. Got straps in the truck, got my 4-wheeler. Let's see, got a new game camera. I've always had old school game cameras that you have to use SD cards and go out and look at them, and let's just say I might be lazy when it comes to that, so I'm not really the best when it comes to going out and checking the game cameras until it's been about a month or so. And then when I check it, I might have a few pictures of some crows. The rest of it's mainly the wind blowing trees and whatnot. And I mean, the memory cards are, well, the SD card's already full. So this time I went ahead and bit the bullet and bought a game camera that is cellular. So there is decent cell phone service where I'm hunting at. So hopefully this camera doesn't have any issue with sending me pictures of what may step in front of it. I really hope that I don't just get pictures of crows or a bear, because I have some other family that will be hunting the same area, and I know they're already trying to start put out feed as well. And in our area there's enough bear that when it's this early in the season, you don't want to put out too much feed because you might draw in a bear, especially if you have a lot of feed that, you know, is sweet, such as I have apple corn and an apple salt lick. But other than that, I can't really think of anything else that we have to do. Oh, put burlap on the stand. So when we get out there, I'll be getting the 4-wheeler unloaded and everything, and we'll probably pull down there with the pole saw first and the ratchet straps to get the stand where it needs to be at and sturdy. And then we'll come back and get the burlap, zip ties, put the burlap on there. And then once that's all said and done, then we'll worry about where we're going to put the salt lick and mineral block at, where we're going to put a little bit of corn at. We're going to go take a look at the feeder that's already out there that I got to get a battery for. Our next trip out there will be putting a new battery in that feeder, filling it up with feed. And there's some trees around that feeder that we might go ahead and use this pole saw to trim up so we can actually see the feeder. Now, I don't want to take away too much coverage though, just because I like the deer to feel safe when they're coming in, you know, that they have something to kind of hide behind, but I don't want them hiding from me. But yeah, we'll pick y'all back up when we get to the farm. All right, well, we made it out here, And right now I have something blowing at me, which of course it's a deer. I just don't know if it's a buck, doe, or if it's several of them. They're kind of out in that island of trees just right out there, because the field that we're in actually it circles around that island of trees. And there's another field, like, so if you go around this island of trees, there's a culvert that you'll go across, and then you follow the trail around, and there's another field to the back where they all bed down for the most part. And I mean, this field could use some TLC for sure, which I talked to a property owner, which he's family and everything, and told him, like, hey, you know, being that you're letting me hunt over here, if you want, I'll get the tractor and I'll bush hog this. So next time we come out, we'll probably jump on the tractor with the bush hog, and we'll bush hog this area and everything, and then we'll bush hog the field behind me, and we'll probably bush hog the trails that go around this island of trees, and bush hog just a little bitty section in that backfield, but leave plenty for them to still bed down in that field. But they can take the woods pretty much all the way to here, and they're right there. This spot right here at the end of my finger, there's a feeder right there. Feeder's been here for several years, and it mainly just needs a battery and feed in it to work. Haven't really got too close to it. To be honest, since it hasn't been used in a while, I'm very worried there might be a hornet's nest in it. So let's just cross our fingers, hope that's not the case. There is my stand right there, and on laying down is the cover to the seat itself, which I'm gonna try to see if I can find a replacement seat to put in it for this season. We gotta trim a couple of limbs, like I said, and we got this DeWalt pole saw with us, and once we get that trimmed up, then we gotta finish strapping the stand to the tree. I got some burlap right there and some zip ties, put that up, and then we'll focus on where we're gonna put the salt licks at, where we're gonna put a little corn at. We'll probably take the pole saw and trim up as much as we can of that little gaggle of bushes in front of the feeder, so we can kind of see it. But yeah, I think we should be in business here soon. But let's get after it. But yeah, I had some out, and that little island of trees, there's probably about 3 or 4 of them kept blowing at me. One was a bigger deer, and it wouldn't throw its flag up, which to those that aren't really hunters, you know, that's their tail. But it really wouldn't throw it up at all. It just, I zoomed in with my camera and everything, and I could see just it walking away, and it kind of circled around, and they just kept blowing and blowing and blowing, and they didn't get quiet until I started using that little DeWalt pole saw, and then they just hushed and let me do my thing. And which that kind of gets me a little excited that, you know, they're not too spookish where they're just going to leave the country if they hear you coming up. Because I pulled up here on the four-wheeler, and they stayed right there near me the whole time until, like I said, I started cutting. So that gives me a little bit of hope right there about sneaking in, getting up in this stand. I got ratchet straps galore holding on to this stand. One thing is whenever you take down a stand and move it to a new spot and say it's been up in that old spot for several years, the straps definitely don't really want to come back off, so you usually got to cut them. And it's kind of hard to get it strapped back down where it needs to be whenever you go to put it back up. So, I mean, it feels pretty sturdy. I'm up here rocking and it's not budging. Like, I have it on here. So hopefully that's enough. It definitely sticks around. There's a couple other trees I wanted to put it on, but they weren't really big enough. But like, this is one of the few that I can see the most while sitting here. And I still haven't figured out where I want to put that corn and salt lick. I still need to put the burlap on it, trim that little thing of bushes over there by that feeder, and I might see if there's any other limbs that I really want to trim or cut down. There's a tree over there that I might kind of lop down the side of it just so I can see behind it. But like I said, I don't want to do too much where it disturbs their movement through here. But then again, I do want to open up a couple of spots for me to be able to see. And other than that, you know, we are making progress. Took me a little bit longer to do this than what I wanted to for the stand itself. But when you're by yourself and you're trying to keep the stand on the tree and you're cutting limbs that are pretty much right next to the stand and everything, and you have some of them land in the stand, I mean, it takes a while. And I know this video again is going to be more me talking than y'all actually seeing stuff. But I'm going to try to start setting up the phone where I can record as I'm actually doing something so y'all can kind of see what I'm actually doing. But yeah, we are making progress. And we'll kind of do a little pan around and see what all we got done when it's all said and done. But I mean, this is our view from in the stand. And so there's plenty of game trails in and out of here. So let's just hope this season's gonna be a good one, because this land is really the only spot I'll be hunting this year. But there are few spots here that I will be sitting. There's a tree house that it's pretty much, I mean, it's a tree house, but it's on stilts. It's not really on a tree. And I mean, this thing is massive. And it's like one of those luxury style stands almost. And it has like a front deck on it and everything. My sister-in-law, she plans on hunting that some, but if she's not out here one day and I don't feel like walking all the way to this stand, or it's getting in the evening, I know they're gonna be pushing up that way, I'll go sneak over and get in that. And there's a big shooting lane going down. She put some burlap on it. We can put feed at the bottom of the shooting lane where it kind of goes down a hill. There's another old wooden stand kind of between here and that other field, and it's just really sketchy getting in. And then my father-in-law, we plan on putting his stand up on the hill to my back left. And then there's an old metal stand that my wife's uncle was telling me that is kind of to my right in the corner of this other field. And no one's stand anymore, but I mean, that could be an option to sit in if it's not overgrown or falling on the ground or something like that, or straps haven't rotted off, because I'm tired of getting in stands that are too sketchy to get in. Because I've been in tripod stands that didn't even have a floor, that you only have like 2 or 3 bars to set your feet on, and you're in the middle of a pipeline and it's windy and you feel the whole thing rocking. It's just not a good feeling to be sitting there for a couple hours in that. But I'm gonna put y'all down for a second and I'm gonna put this burlap on, crawl back down, and show y'all the finished product of the stand on how it turned out on the spot it's sitting. And if anything, I'll kind of pull to the other side of this field and kind of give y'all a view of what the deer would see. Which I wish I had a mannequin that they have in one of the department stores, and just put on an orange hat, orange vest, and some camo, and leave in my stand all year long, so the deer just get used to seeing a figure sitting in it. So then I can take it down right when season starts, take it back to the house, and then whenever I sit in it, they're already used to seeing something up here. That might be one of my plans in the future. But this will be my second season, like I said earlier, hunting on this property, and there are some bucks, and we're gonna be putting our game camera out today to see what bucks there are, and we are gonna be meat hunting, so there'll be some does that probably come home with us. And one thing I did see, that some hunters that were like live and breathe just deer hunting 24/7, they were talking about, you know, if an area has too many does, it will kind of keep away some of the bigger bucks. So we might need to thin out the doe population a little bit right here, so then we can start growing out some good bucks. But pretty much all around here is just farmland, and there's a few people that hunt in this area, but it's all private property around here and farmland, so you might not have people just hard hunting it, I don't believe. So this might be a good little honey hole for us. And by next season, I plan on being back on my deer lease and getting another stand, putting it up, and so we'll have a few different spots to hunt. But like I said, let me get this done real fast, and then we'll move on to our next phase of getting set up today. All right, it's been a minute. Got some feed put out right there, and got some feed put out at the base of that tree, and then on the other side of the feeder. The stand, if y'all cannot see it, let's see, yeah, there it is. But it's right there, and then we got the camera set up right back there. So I think we're set, and we'll see if we get any pictures here in the next couple of days or so, and see what we'll be hunting this season. And we ended up trimming a few little trees. Of course, when you're seeing right there, there's a few little limbs knocked down so we can see underneath this tree all right. Yeah, I know, again, this hasn't been, you know, really showing too much what I was doing, just showing, you know, start to finish product, I guess. But this is kind of more of a check-in video and showing y'all what I'm up to today, and be ready for some hunting videos for sure, because we are gonna try to hit it hard this season as often as I can. Did get a new job, worked some crazy hours sometimes, so and some long hours too, so most of the time my only time hunting is gonna be on the weekends, and then maybe a day here or there during the week. It just depends on the weather, because being that it's in construction that I'm doing, you know, the weather plays a big part if we can work or not. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for, I guess, whenever more videos come out when I can get to them. But thank y'all.